let's bring in On Balance host Leland Vittert this morning, hosted that coverage of the Georgia Senate debate on Friday night. Hello, Leland. Good morning to you.
Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you. Okay, so the badge issue. Is more being made of this than it should when there are so many other important issues?
Of all the voters I talked to in Georgia, nobody wondered about the badge, and nobody brought up that they were really concerned about whether Herschel Walker told people over the past 20 or 25 years that he's worked with law enforcement. There's this accusation hanging out there that somehow he's passed himself off as a member of law enforcement. And we can't, at least so far, find any moment where he acted as a law enforcement officer. Or tried to purport himself to be one. He said that he's worked with law enforcement on mental health issues for a long time, and the record seems to support that. People can decide for themselves if that is the most important issue, but the level of focus on it seems to be outsized.
There was a lot of anticipation, Leland, about the abortion issue and some of the skeletons in Warnock's closet, or excuse me, in Herschel Walker's closet. They both talked about this on Friday night, and I was curious how that panel afterwards would feel about how that played out on the stage. Tell us a little bit more about how that landed with people who were watching, and that issue was key to them.
The clip that Kelsey played where Walker said there's also a baby in that room after Warnock's sort of well-trotted line about room inside of a doctor's office played very well. And that was the first sort of jab that Walker came out with. And it landed pretty well. All of a sudden, everybody realized this was not the same Herschel Walker that we've seen, who was on the stump talking about exchanging China's bad air for clean air and impregnating 3 cows and some of his other real sort of oddities during political conversations. So it landed pretty well. What this debate kept sort of focusing on, at least in terms of what Walker wanted to focus on, was that Warnock would never really answer the question on the hard issues, specifically abortion. The Atlanta Braves changing their name was another one in which he dodged, and then President Biden running again is another one in which he really dodged. And every time Walker pounced and kept saying, this is what happens in Washington. People go to Washington and don't answer the question. I'll answer the question. And Walker made news, right? He said that while he is pro-life, he believes that it's up to the states, and he supports Georgia's heartbeat bill, which does have the exceptions that Democrats have accused him of not supporting.
Well, in poll after poll, abortion is important, but the economy is the most important for people in Georgia and across the country, Leland. So how did they do on issues about the economy and what it's costing people to put food on the table right now?
Kind of an eh. It's very hard in these debates to land real blows or score points on the economy because it's complicated. You have to go through, well, I voted for this bill, but you didn't vote for that bill, but this bill says that it'll do that. It didn't seem as though either of them had some amazing moment on the economy where they connected to voters and said, I really understand and feel what you're going through, and I'm the guy to fix it.
So we're getting ready for some more debates. Of course, Philadelphia, the Senate debate is coming up, the gubernatorial debates in Georgia and Ohio. What are you looking for? Let's stay in Georgia for a moment between Kemp and Abrams.
This is a sort of a perfect reverse image, if you will, of the Walker-Warnock debate from a party standpoint. Brian Kemp is 5 or 6 points ahead. He's very popular in Georgia. He's got a lot of crossover appeal. Stacey Abrams is floundering. She sort of run her race as a national race rather than a local one. And in the same way, Raphael Warnock didn't have had everything to lose and nothing really to gain in this debate. And Herschel Walker came out swinging with low expectations and really took the stage and took the night. If you're Brian Kemp, you've got to wonder: am I going to play it safe and try to protect my lead, or am I going to come to fight? And if you know Brian Kemp at all and have covered him as I have, he comes to fight. The question is whether or not his consultants decide something different, and that'll be something really worth watching when we see those two square off.
All right, we shall see. Hey, Leland, good to see you this morning.
Yeah, you too.
All right, thank you. All right, you can watch On Balance with Leland Vittert. We all can watch it together tonight and every weeknight. It starts at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. And NewsNation, your exclusive network home of the Pennsylvania Senate debate, the only place you can watch Dr. Mehmet Oz face off against John Fetterman. That coverage on Tuesday, October 25th, 7 p.m. Eastern. Debate night in America, live from Harrisburg.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.